Welcome to Awakened with Victoria Bond. I'm your host, Victoria, and I am absolutely honored to bring you this podcast where we will be getting raw, real, turning up consciousness, removing the old energies that do not align, and turning up our capacities as human beings and spiritual beings. I will be bringing you mediumship. I will be bringing you channels. I will be bringing you points of view that will shift your perspective and realign your body, your mind, and your soul. Enjoy this ride. This comes from my heart to yours, and know that while you're listening to this, indeed, you are helping to create this. Enjoy the ride, and I'll see you inside. Hello, and welcome to today's episode. I have just woken up and I was not planning on recording an episode this morning, but I'm feeling really pumped. And although I'm still in my sleepy state, this is the time where channels are the best because our mind has not kicked in yet. So the truth is, I woke up about an hour and 45 minutes ago, bright. And every time I wake up bright and like, boom, I'm awake, there is usually a little bit of a spirit or a download or a whisper in my ear from an angel, Victoria, wake up, right? So I thought, this is ridiculous. I have had not enough sleep. So I'm going to go lie down. I'm going to listen to a transmission and I'm going to drift in and out and allow myself to receive. So although I was awake an hour and 45 minutes ago, I have been in this sleep state, which I called spirit mode, and receiving beautiful downloads from my spirit team and also from my spirit guides and also from the light beings. So I don't really know how this is going to come across today, and I don't really know exactly what I'm going to be talking about in this episode, but I'm going to really just let it flow because there is just so much happening in the world and the earth right now. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the earth, I think, and also the different planets and the different beings and the different energies and how we all work all together. So I'm just kind of letting my higher self come through today. And I want to invite you to drop your barriers and open your heart and ground down. Okay, so I'm feeling quite emotional because I know today is going to be a big day. I know that the awarenesses that I just had are life-changing, because now I just was given a sweet little clue about some of my purpose here on earth. Now, when we talk about purpose, it's really interesting. So people will come to me and go, Victoria, what is my purpose? I want to know what my purpose is. I want to know what my spirit guides are called. I want to deepen my spiritual connection. And I say, yes, you can deepen your spiritual connection, but, when it comes to what your spirit guides are called and when it comes to what your purpose is, it's a very, very multifaceted question. So yes, we can receive guides' names, but we can have many, many guides, and it depends on what dimension you're playing in at that time. And there's like a lot of different things when it comes to it. It's not just like, hey, your guides are called, Joe and Tim. It's not that simple, because there's guides and there's spirit team. So there's that kind of question there for any of those of you that were asking that. And the other one is the purpose question, which isn't as straightforward as that. Your purpose is very multifaceted as well, or multi-leveled, really. Okay, so we're multifaceted, but our purpose is multi-leveled. So it's multi-dimensional, really. Like, we are these multi-dimensional beings with many faces, with many levels, with many layers, with many, many lives and many lineages. It's just next level, this information that I'm receiving, and then unpacking that, we can get told something, right, about our purpose or about earth or about our connections with others or whatnot. but being told it is different to experiencing it, because when we're being told something, we nearly make it solid. Like when you go to a medium and you make something solid and you go, I'm going to marry someone who looks like this and this and this and this and this, and you take someone else's word for it rather than your own. It's completely different to when you experience your purpose, or your perspective may be different to somebody else's on what something looks like, or how something's going to show up. And that is the thing, is how things show up is always going to determine on the free will, because although I do feel that we have this kind of called destiny, the free will comes in on how we experience that. So when people ask about their purpose, I nearly just want to, not in a condescending, patronizing way, but I nearly just want to like laugh my ass off, because I'm like, holy shit, I won't know the full extent of my mission here on earth until I die. And I'm not expecting to, right? I'm not expecting to know my purpose. But today I got that little clue on one of the things that I'm here for in this timeline now. And the minute it popped out, I went, oh my God, and I clicked. So we get these little clues everywhere, and we get to piece them together as we experience them, but we don't chase them, okay? So we have to become the attractor. So like I say, when people are asking me questions, and this is why people come to work with me deeper, because I help them come to their own knowings, their own deep innate knowing, by helping them activate their seed of consciousness within them, so they can expand and receive, they can expand their capacity to expand their awareness even more. So they get to expand their awareness, and then they expand their capacity to reach that, vice versa, whatever. You get the gist of what I'm saying. I'm still half asleep. And I'm so excited because there's so much energy floating through me, desiring to come out to share this with the world for those who can hear me. So, yeah, my point being, I've gone past the point of I need to know my purpose. I want to know my spirit guides' names. And, but when it comes to the spiritually, I want to deepen my spirituality. This is, again, an ongoing thing where we don't get to a point where we go, I am spiritually aligned, like fully, because we're always transitioning to the next evolution as we are opening the different doors of consciousness. There's always another door within the door, within the door, within the door, within the door. So if people ever come to me and they go, well, I've already done all the work and I'm already super incredible at this, I go, I'm sure you are, and there's always more to do. There's always more personal development. If you ask any coach, and my first coach that I went to, I said, look, I've done so much consciousness work and personal development work, I just need to know how to make money, which is the biggest joke of my life, because I look back then and I don't even think I'd really started. I still feel like I haven't started. I went to my next coach, who I'm currently working with. I've had quite a few coaches, but when I went to this coach, I said, look, I've done so much personal development work and so much, consciousness work. I don't need that. I just need to know how to make money. She went, sure. And of course, every single coach that I've ever had have done personal self-development on me and reflected back me to me, so I could tap into my innate deep knowing. So I'm very, very grateful for the coaches that I've had, and I want to continue that energy forward for those who come to me, no matter what level that they are at, because consciousness continues to expand and evolve out, and it's infinite. So there is no end point, and anyone that thinks that at that end point will probably not be here in a human body, I don't think. So the clues, the little clues, how do we find the little clues, and how do we make this not about ego? How do we make this about alignment? So one of the things that pops in when I say this, and this is about your soul's purpose here. I'm just going to be sitting here having a coffee with you because I don't do anything before my morning coffee. It is my addiction is my coffee. I fully own it. I will have a coffee first thing in the morning. So you will have to have a coffee with me. So go grab a drink. So yeah, pretty much the soul's purpose, as we unfold it in the multi-layers, is so beautiful. The way to see the difference between the ego and the soul calling is when you get a clue, like I did this morning. You jump out of bed, you've got tears in your eyes, you're like, holy shit, I found a clue. And those emotions are coming up again for me, because when you get a clue, it's an aha, it's an awareness, it's a oh my god, wow. And then there's this immense amount of gratitude that comes with it. And it's so immense that you're like, how did I get so lucky? Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, light beings. Thank you for the person who helped activate that in with me. Thank you. Like, and you're just like, what? But when you're searching externally for the clues and you're not being the attractor, you're like, okay, all right, I need you to help me. I'm going to need to find this. I need to find my guides. I need to find myself. How do I spiritually deepen? How do I do this? And when you've got that charge to it, you're chasing and rather than attracting, then comes in expectations. And expectation comes in of other people giving you those clues, and there's a charge to it. And you know what? We all experience this. Like, I have not yet met a person who hasn't gone through this energy, because we all have ego. And we still do it. I still do it. I'm like, okay, I need to find that thing. And then I remember, oh, hang on, that's right. I'm an attractor, not a chaser. I'm a projector, not a generator. So I'm not even here to respond. I follow my spleen. So this is when human design I find is fascinating. But even human design is a web. Even human design, religion, spirituality, relationships, the word love, like there's all these little ego traps everywhere. There's collective ego, little pots of little portals everywhere where people get stuck in them, and they get stuck in, I want to be the best HD reader. I want to be the best spiritual empowerment coach. I want to be the best, at this, or have the nicest car, or have this, or have this, or have this, or, and that's when people are missing the whole point. So it's really interesting, because the way I use my tools is the way that they work well for me, right? So I'm kind of just like overlapping a few conversations here, because I do have an open head. So when I understood my human design a little bit more, and I have done the certification, I have, done a lot of stuff around it as I've integrated over the last couple of years. But I've really just touched the surface of that as well. And I don't desire to go ever so deep into it, because I'm not at the level of consciousness to be able to receive it all. I know about my open centers. I know I'm a splenic projector, and I know that I'm a 3/5, and that's enough for me to know so much about myself. And this is what I teach in my programs in Magnificent Mediumship, and also when I do coaching. Any one of my containers knows what their human design is, and I coach them by those basics. Because when we get caught into the web of the ego, we want to know every single gate, every single channel. We want to know all of those different things, and that is fine if you're doing it from curiosity and clues, and you're attracted to it and it excites you and it gets you out of bed and you're like, damn, I love this. That's fine. But when you're doing it because you think you have to do the next thing, you think you need to know it all. I've got to know it all to be it all, and then so I can charge for it. And when you're doing it from this chasing instead of attracting and how it's going to work for you, then, we've kind of just missed that mark again. And it's the same with everything, with the coaching and with the money and with the religion and with the judging on how the government should work and all of that stuff. And I have this ability to see what I require to know from something, and then I can let it go, because I don't feel like I need to be the best at anything, because I can't be in competition with anyone. Because if I'm in competition with anybody, I get that charge within my body, and it feels really uncomfortable, and then I know I've gone into my ego. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you now is because you are listening. I'm reading your vibration. So this is going to resonate with somebody, which is kind of funny, isn't it, really? So even though I'm doing this right now on this day and no one's going to hear it for ages, it just blows my mind how time works. But this is when the other side of the coin comes, when we're attracted to different things, and when so basically we're being attracted to it, it's being attracted to us, whatever, just attraction, the law of attraction, when that works and you're interested in something and these clues are coming, then these tools, they really, really work, right? So for instance, for me, I know because I'm a 3/5 splenic projector that when I woke up at 6 o'clock, when the angel whispered in my ear, "Get up, Victoria." And I used to ask these angels to do this all the time when I used to struggle with sleep, and I finally fall asleep. I'd be like, "Can you wake me up at this time?" And they always did, right on the second. I'd just wake up. I'd be, "Thank you, Victoria." And I woke up and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's Saturday morning. I've planned on, going for a walk, hanging out with my friend, sleeping in." But my spleen is like, "Get up. You've got something to share with the world today." And I'm like, "Oh, this is exciting." That's not me pushing. That's me being. That's me doing things in my own way, and I know the reason why I'm like that is because I have this incredible ability with my spleen to be in the moment, and that's how I work. So I'm not a person to plan to do a podcast tomorrow because the chances are I'll want to do something else. So that's why I'm very, very random. So this is why having a good knowing and understanding and going into the details is good, but knowing when to stop, knowing to know when is enough. So I know as much as I want to know about human design at the moment. I don't need to be a guru of human design. I don't need to be a guru of mediumship. I don't need to be a guru when it comes to parenting, conscious parenting. I don't need to know all of the things, because knowing a little bit and embodying that and applying that, which is the next thing I want to talk about, is the aligned action. That's enough for me. So when I'm getting these clues and when I know myself enough to know how I work as a human and knowing my own cues, clues and cues. Thanks, guys. I love it how they always bring in random things for a bit of a laugh. What I know is that I have something to share with the world today, and that's very, very beautiful. So wherever you are, I just want to talk about this ego a little bit more. I told you this was going to be random, but wherever you're going, "Oh my gosh, I need to do more, I need to do more, I need to do more, I need to do more," or "Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?" And whenever you're getting that charge, that frustration or the bitterness, or you're getting a bit of anger, like you're getting all these things coming up, don't worry. Just say, just remember what I'm saying here. It's about the attracting, not the chasing, and the answers will come to you, but I can't tell you when they will come. I'm sorry. So for me, I've been asking this question, and my ego has been coming up this last month the last 6 months. I've had this kind of my ego going, you don't want to be in the town that you're living in. You want to be in the town that you're moving to. And of course I thought, oh my gosh, like I'm in my ego, because why can't I just be patient and stay in the town that I'm living in? I've lived there for 9 years. Like, it's a beautiful community. I've got a brand new house. I've got my children and my husband and my dog there. All of my family, not all my family, but my sisters and my mum and my dad, all around the corner. It's a freaking village, that my grandparents lived in, and it's beautiful and I love it. I don't want to be there. And I started feeling guilty because my ego was saying, this is what, you don't want to be there. You want to be over here. And I'm like, for goodness sakes, okay, we're moving, but just be patient, Victoria. I'm starting to tell myself off here. I'm starting to judge myself. And I feel that people are judging me. Like, why don't you want to be with your family? Just calm down, chill out, make the most of being there. And of course, people aren't judging me. I'm simply starting to judge myself. And that is why I'm seeing that mirror. Because people don't judge me. I judge myself. And it's always a mirror. It's always a reflection, pretty much. And the long and the short of it is I've been asking this question, especially this last week. Why am I finding it hard? And I've actually literally got this, like, I have a threshold. I can go there for like 4 days and then I'm like, I've had enough. And the guilt comes in, the shame comes in. I love my children and I'm obsessed with my husband. Like, I've got the best husband in the world. Sorry, girls, but I've just got to say it. Like, wow, you know, we've done a lot of work in 22 years. So we are kind of obsessed with each other. So why don't I want to be with him? You know, why don't I want to be with my kids? I have a strong pull not to be there. And so I just decided yesterday, and the day before, I was talking to a friend and I said to her, can you just tell me, please, do you think this is my ego? Because I'm feeling a little bit guilty and shameful. I talked to my coach about it as well, like for not wanting to be in the town where I live and wanting to be somewhere else. So I'm currently, you know, at the beach in the town that I'm moving to in a batch. It's quite a cute little rustic batch next to my auntie and uncle, like a single woman, right? And I've got a beautiful home and a family and a life 6 hours away. And my friend actually said to me, and she's a real soul sister, she said, no, babe, you have to know that, you know, you're where you're at because you're meant to be. And she just reminded me of my innate knowing. So I was like, okay, well, if this is an ego, then what the hell is this? Like, I've never seen anyone do this. Like, you know, and I'm very unique. I'm not like most other mothers or people. We're very different. Our family, the way that we live, we don't see our children as children. We kind of see them as little beings, and we all kind of play together. And the most interesting thing dropped in. The minute I dropped the guilt and I got curious and I actually said, hey, I wonder, you know, if it comes to me, it comes to me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Now I've got a plan. I'm just going to go with how I feel. And I kind of surrendered to it after 6 months of really battling with this ego of mine going, oh my God, why can't I just be content in one place, Victoria? Because my spleen will be like, go now. So I'll be like, hey, husband, I'm going to pack up and go now. Hey, children, who wants to come or not? And then I leave with like 3 hours notice. Like, that's happened a few times. And I'm like, this isn't like normal parenting. Anyhow, I'm lying in bed this morning. I've dropped that ego and gone, fuck it. I'm just going to follow my gut. Like, I mean, seriously, why would I've never tried to fit in. It was too painful for me. I follow my gut. Whatever comes up, comes up. And all of a sudden, I realized I was listening to a transmission and it was all about the crystal grids. And it was all about the light grids. And this is something that I have been working on. And I've seen within my clients that are in my Spiritually Aligned membership. So I have a membership. If that's something you want to be a part of, go check out my website. And I've seen some of my people working with these grids. They don't know it. They're working with the grids while they're walking on the freaking earth. Like the 3D crystal grid, light grid, I don't exactly know the entire details. Details aren't that important to me. It's just the energetics. It's crushing down, it's breaking, and this new big, beautiful, like 5D light crystal grid thing is being made, right? And so I'm getting this information and I was like, okay, cool. So I understand about these grids and the light grids and the breaking down and the rebuilding, and the people have different assignments and working on them, yada, yada, yada. And I've been working on them myself as I bring my collective groups together, and we do this channeling and light language, and we go work on the grids, and it's beautiful, right? Oh, yep, sweet as, I've done my job, she thinks. This morning, when I heard Michaela Sheldon in her transmission, which was on YouTube, I was half asleep, half awake as I was receiving. And she said, many of you will have assignments and will have to go to that place where you'll be working on those grids. And that I was in my half asleep state, but boom, I woke up and I went, oh my effing G. I went, holy shit. I am so attracted to where I am. So attracted that this is the reason why I'm here, is because when I'm walking on the beach, I'm working in with these grids and I'm working. I am working. And I don't know if you guys find this interesting. It's just been like a aha moment for me. And of course, I know it's going to activate something within you as well, although I'm talking about my story. But it still will activate you. The interesting thing about this is yesterday I walked on the beach twice, a full walk, right? Like I don't know, maybe like 3 kilometers. And then I did it again. So I right down to the end and right back. And then I stop at the meeting of the waters. And every time when I'm at the beach, I stop at the meeting of the waters. And if I don't stop, I look at it and I don't want to leave. I keep walking past it, like looking back, going, wow, I've just realized this is what I'm doing is I'm working on these grids here in this town that I don't yet live in, but I can't stay away from. I've got very good friends here and I grew up here and I love it and stuff like that. But I've gone through all of those things and said, that's not what's attracting me, because I've got good friends in the place I'm currently living, including my family, which is, of course, super important. But it's because I'm working. I'm working as a light worker while I'm here at the beach. And it's not just any beach, it's this beach. And this is where my assignment is, and this is why I must live here. And this is why I have really, really been pushing, I know that's the wrong word, but I've done everything I can with the aligned action, which I'm going into in a minute, to move to this place. And the minute this dropped in, because as a projector, I'm always looking at other people and diving into their auras and helping them really come into their purpose, so they can open their consciousness, so then they can start seeing the different layers of their purpose as well. Like that's what I do, and that's what I love. I love coaching. I love intensives, and the more intense, the better, because we go so deep, right? So when I do have those moments of rest to be with myself, which is exactly what projectors need as well, those awarenesses can pop in once my ego has stepped out. So this is showing me that my ego was in the way of me seeing my actual mission here. And, the other expression of that would be my ego saying, you're here because you have to, because the land wants you, and making a big hoot and howl about it. This isn't a hoot and howl. This is like a humble awareness that landed. It's like it floated in and landed in me. And when I heard Michaela say that, and she says a lot in transmissions. And when she said that one thing, I went, oh my God, I know that. And that is a thing. Interesting enough, there is a few people that I work with these grids, and they're kind of, around New Zealand, and it's something we don't really talk about, but it's something that we know when we work together, which is very, very interesting. And it's not physically working together. And this is the thing about energy, is we're not always physically working together. We don't have to always speak. And I know some friends that I have, we literally, you know what it's like. You don't speak to someone for a year, and then you voice note them, or you jump on the phone, or you text them and go, hey babe, how's it going? And they're like, oh, hey, how's it going? Oh my God, we haven't spoken for ages, but you know that you've never been far away. I've got a friend in Australia right now who moved, I don't know, probably a year ago or longer. And she's been popping in my mind. And, it just makes me think, because I'm bringing her up now, I wouldn't be surprised if she moved to work on the grids in Australia. So I know this sounds weird, and I'm not going to go into the grids exactly. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Just know that we're shifting so much stuff, and it's something you can go and look up and research yourself anyhow. But yeah, that's what I'm doing here. And it actually helps me feel, I feel satisfied and successful. Success is, my projector, my theme really. I feel really successful knowing now, and it's a surprise. It's like I'm so grateful that clue of a part of my purpose has dropped in, because I'm coming from a state of gratitude, which is meaning that I'm in alignment, but it couldn't land until I was in alignment. So going back to the beginning of what I was saying is when you were searching, and you've got the trigger, and you're like, I need it. What is my purpose? Who are my guides? When we're coming from that, the question doesn't matter. The question is, can be answered either way, but it's really about the energy that's behind it. If we're coming from charge or our not self theme, or if we're coming from actual alignment. So I've been asking, why am I coming back? Nearly fucked off. Like, why am I doing this? Why can't I just be a normal person? The minute I dropped that and went, you know what? My whole family is happy. The rest of the world might not get it. It doesn't matter, because the rest of the world isn't me and my children and my husband, and we're all really, really like happy, right? When you finally surrender to it and you ask the questions, show me why I'm here, because it's not making sense. Why am I obsessed with coming here? There's nothing actually here. Like, really, there's a beach and I've got some friends, but it's just a town. It's just a house. It's just what's the biggie? And then you realize, holy shit, this has got a massive part of your soul purpose. And it was really interesting. My family and I were going to be moving to a different town, and we put money down, a deposit down for a section. And I knew, this was a couple of years ago, I knew I was going to work on the earth over there. And it's about an hour and a half from where I'm currently at right now. Interesting enough, now I'm feeling like that assignment changed. And that's why I was pulled here. Anyhow, I will go into those intricacies later on if I want to. So the aligned action in all that we do has to come from the heart, and it has to come from the soul. And if it doesn't, it's no biggie, it's no drama, because you've got to remember, you just can't fuck up this life. You just can't fuck it up, because everything is divine, everything is perfect, and we get to choose how we experience our lessons that we have already pretty much pre-chosen, which is my interesting point of view. Some people believe in destiny, some people don't. Some people believe in karma, some people don't. In my experience, and what I'm knowing to be true as I'm getting all of these little clues that are landing for me, is that we do have a karma, right? And I won't talk about karma too much this time, because we'll be here for 10 hours, but we do have this karma energy. But karma is not like, oh my God, I've got a bucket worth of karma, I've got to get rid of it in this life. And that's what we've been shown or told what karma is, like, get rid of your karma. And I even do know someone who does so many good things, and she says, I'm trying to get rid of my karma while I'm here. And I don't think it's that way, to be honest. I believe that we're always transmuting karma, and there's all these different layers, and it depends on how deep you want to go. And we can really help those ancestral lines as well. And also the lineage from the different galactic collectives as well. So I know that this grid stuff right now does have a lot to do when it comes to me. The Lyra, the Lyrians, or I don't even know how to say it, but these are beings that I work with, and I know that it's not my human experience doing the work. I am really working in different galactic collectives at the same time, because I am multidimensional. So when we start understanding that we're multidimensional beings, we're very faceted, because a lot of different ages pop up in us as well as humans, like this life as well. We're transmuting karma, but at the same time, as we're lightening up the karma, we're still actually gifting to the earth and doing our work. So there's this kind of, the multifaceted is the human and the light being. We've also been masters and guides, and we've been mothers and fathers, and I notice it in the spiritual communities, which I have not been in my whole life, because I was brought up Catholic with a lot of sacred Divine Mother, like Virgin Mary, Jesus energy and stuff, which has really served me now, because I understand that energy so well, because I grew up with it. But in the spiritual community, there's also this ego as well. There's ego everywhere. We've got to remember it's not a bad thing. It's just an expression. And what I see is a lot of people talking about the past lives, and that's all they make everything about. And then they will be like, okay, so in this past life, in this past life, in this past life, and they make it so solid and dense and real that they can't see anything else. But there's so much. And what I see and what I want to bring to the earth in my expressions through my podcasts and whatnot, for those who are interested, is to bring through this more of a thought point or pattern or receiving of consciousness as a whole, not one alley. So like, for instance, in Magnificent Mediumship, when I'm explaining to people what it is, if they're interested, it's not just about mediumship, because then I would be pretty much pigeonholing, if that's the word. I'd be like zoning in and making that its own little ego consciousness. Only mediums are allowed, we're going to talk to dead people and use cards. It's like, no, Magnificent Mediumship isn't that. It's about light beings. It's about activations. It's about releasing of this density, this karma, because that karma is forever moving, and we're forever moving as well, depending on what layers we're going through. And as we release a lot of that karma, we become lighter. And as we become lighter, and a lot of people may use the word ascend, we are continuously ascending. It depends on what rate you want to do that at. And then what actually happens is we start receiving all these clues and informations, and of course the signs and the synchronicities, they just become your absolute normal. And next minute you acknowledge that you're not only here to learn how to channel, all right, we actually are the channel. But there is a formula for this, and it's not, again, to make things solid or dense, but it's more of a foundational. My Magnificent Mediumship is a foundational experience. And I'm not the only one doing it. Now, I'm the only one who does it my way, but I know one of my friends at the moment is putting together, or she's thinking about it. So it's sitting there, it's landing energetically. She's putting together a foundational basics of the spiritual stuff, of the chakra system, of the, whatever you need to know, like the archangels and all that type of stuff, because she's saying, hey, there's a gap here. People are missing this stuff, and they're just trying to do this ascension stuff, but they're missing the point of the foundations of who we be. And it's very important to embody and integrate these things. And one of those things that I'm noticing very deeply is this karma that we are experiencing, transmuting, and then we're able to receive more information. And that's what I've done in this last 24 hours is I've gone and done a lot of work on the beach, transmuted a lot of energy for a lot of people, because of course I work with people and I help to transmute for them. It's this capacity that I have. And then, of course, consciousness, or my higher self, or the light beings, or whoever, whatever guides I'm working with, dropped in those clues and awarenesses because I asked the question and I was willing and ready to receive it. That is why it is so exciting that I got a little clue about my purpose in the now. Because if I was functioning from ego, I wouldn't see what a grand and glorious clue that was. Can you see what I mean? So we want clues, we want information. Actually, we want facts and we want information. Like, we want to know everything. So we get these expectations of someone telling us or someone giving it to us. We need to find it. That there's ego, because the truth is the world doesn't owe you shit. Neither does the universe. You have to acknowledge that you are the world, you are the universe. Well, you are the universe here in this human body. And when you receive these clues, these little light bulbs turn on, and it's fucking insanely amazing. So the fact that I got a little clue that I'm here to work on the grids of this earth, all of a sudden everything else lines in, and I go, oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So just to tell somebody that I had that awareness, would be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Right? It doesn't seem a biggie, but when you're coming from a standpoint of, I am in allowance of my awareness and I am in gratitude for all that comes in, you realize that that clue that you got was gold. It's like winning the lotto. Okay, so it's really, really, really fascinates me. And I hope I'm not boring people, because I know, this is just coming from the expression of wow. And I know that sometimes people might go, that's not even a big thing. But for me, it's like looking at your baby, when your baby smiles at you or looks at you and you just know that you're in love and your baby's in love with you or your husband or the world. That is what it feels like. True, pure love, unconditional. That's what it feels like when you get a clue. That's what it feels like when you're in awareness. And then you will notice all the synchronicities and the signs around you and how they were all in symphony working for you. And they were waiting for you to raise your vibration and your frequency to be in alignment with that clue. Okay, this sounds so crazy. I told you this was going to be weird, and I told you I didn't know what was going to come out. This is just literally coming through. So really interesting, because yesterday as well, being a splenic, I was like, oh, I need to go to the crystal shop. And last time I went to the crystal shop, which was only a couple of weeks ago, I spent hundreds of dollars, and I was like, whoops. But I bought myself these incredible crystals to help me with my channeling. Crystals I have always loved. Now, my best friend, her and I were in gardens finding crystals when we were little girls, like 7, 8. And I remember just being fascinated. My son is a child who's obsessed with crystals. He's only 7, but he's been bringing me rocks, like literally rocks, ever since he could walk, going, mummy, mummy. And so we've got a big collection of crystals. But up until 2 years ago, I was like, oh yeah, sweet as, intention is everything. Crystals are great, but I don't know why everyone's making such a big deal about them. And that is because I wasn't at the level to receive and to work with their powers, because I was actually working with my own. And now things have shifted and I'm ready to work with them, right? Really, really interesting. Everyone is different at different times, ready at different times. So the long and the short of the story is, yesterday I was like, I need to go to the crystal shop. I need to go to the crystal shop. I need to go to the crystal shop. And today I'm going to be hanging out with my best friend very shortly, actually. And I said to her, can you please come with me to the crystal shop? And she's like, yeah, sure. Right. And she's a sacral. She's a MG 46 and she's sacral. So we're both very now people. So we never know if we're going to do what we say we're going to do, because we're very spontaneous and we just go on these random trips here and there and everywhere. And we've always been random. We're not good at planning things really. But it's kind of interesting. I was like, let's go to the crystal shop. And now that I'm speaking to you, I'm actually realizing the crystal grids. I'm here in that town where her and I were playing with the crystals. She introduced me to the crystals. We go to the beach and it's all coming together. This is a part of my destiny. But would have I been able to get to this point if I hadn't done the work? And that is kind of the question here as well. And this is when the ego comes in and people go, but I haven't done the work, And I feel like I haven't done the work either. I literally feel like I'm doing the work, but we always feel like we've just begun. Because when we're coming from humbleness and awareness, we know that there's so many layers, we've just begun, right? So the truth is, yes, if I hadn't done all this work and if I hadn't had that awareness, of course I was doing that work. When I'm walking on the beach, I'm doing that work. When I'm hanging out with my best friend, I'm doing that work. When I'm talking to the people that I'm actually simultaneously, they're in my soul family, not like we're not vibing, having cups of coffee and tea. We just know we're in each other's soul family. So we check in every now and then going, how are you going? How are you going in your energy? If you need anything, let me know. Like there's only a few people I'm available for, and they are people doing the same as me. We are light workers. We are the true light workers. We're not going out hooting and howling that we're light workers. We're really light workers going, okay, when I walk on the beach, I'm doing my work. So even if I didn't get that clue, I would have still been doing it, because the aligned action that I took was coming here to this beach, following my heart and my soul over my head that was saying, why don't you just stay at home with your family? But because I'm energetically in tune with me and my blueprint, and I've done enough with the HD, just enough to understand myself and the way my intuition works, I know that when I'm not meant to be somewhere, I'm very, very heavy. And that karma feels like it just keeps piling up. But when I come to a place that I'm required to be, I feel as free as a bird and I feel light. And I was walking on the beach with my husband saying, this is insane, babe. I feel light. I feel light. I feel bright. I feel happy. But this is weird because I'm not with you guys, but I am, And he's like, you know what, Victoria, we are all creating this together. Remember that. So I went, thank you. So just to kind of round this up really, because I do have a crystal mission to go do right now, is the aligned action is not always of the mind. It's really of the mind. It's about coming into your heart and your soul and allowing yourself to be bold enough to let those things land, to let those things be attracted to you and you be attracted to them. And then you can go into your head and go, oh my God, that all makes sense, right? I had to piece it all together. And it didn't take long. It took me about, I reckon 20 minutes because I had to talk it out to a friend. And then all of a sudden I'm talking to you and I'm piecing it together while I'm talking to you. It's not something I'm going to sit there and analyze because I don't want my mind to go into mind and mind not. But of course, now I'm going to say, show me more. I'm willing to receive, and then I'll keep getting these drop-ins. And this is when journaling comes in with the aligned action as well. What do I need to know? What do I need to embody? What do I need to integrate? Show me, and I will do it. And this is how I've built my multiple six-figure business, is by saying, show me what to do, and I'll do it. And then I get the drop-ins, and then I get my pen and paper, and I use my brain to stick it out, to use the words, to express the words to you, which sometimes come out jumbled because it's coming from a 5D expression of me. So I would love to hear from you and to hear how this resonates with you. Did this make sense for you? I would love for you, if you think that you know someone could hear this, if you know someone who could actually hear what I've just done, what I've just expressed, because I know that it's very quantum. The words that I use are always activating you when I speak. And that's a part of it. Just like walking on the beach, I'm doing my work. That's what my work is. There's nothing I really need to do but to be in the energy of love and contribution. So if you know anybody that you believe would love this and love my podcast, Awake with Victoria Bond, please share it. And the reason why I do this is not because I'm like, yeah, share, I want to make money. Podcasts are free anyway. But if I really think it's time for us to wake up, to help others to awaken their seed of consciousness so they can be in the fullest expression of themselves and not to judge themselves when they go into ego of what are my spirit guides' names and what is this and what is that? I need to know more. That is just us searching as a human. And then we find mentors and teachers and leaders and we become those mentors and teachers and leaders. And then there's more mentors and teachers and leaders. And we're on this edge of a paradigm shift and we're the leaders of that. And there is no right or wrong and there is no hierarchy. We're just here to activate each other. So I invite you, and I don't often do this, but I invite you to please share this episode or share the podcast with your communities, and reach out and let me know. I know someone reached out the other day and said, whoa, okay, I had to go sleep after your podcast because it knocked me out. It was episode 84. And she said, thank you. And what that does for me is it lets me know people are listening. It lets me know that people are activating. It lets me know that my work is working. And as long as things work and as long as they feel good, I continue to do them. So thank you so much for listening. Magnificent Mediumship is beginning on the 1st of July, the next round, and it is a goodie. It's going to be incredible. It's always a little bit different, although the digital program and the teachings, the format is always similar, but everyone brings something different to the table. That's what they do, because everyone has got a different blueprint. So therefore every program is different. And when people come into these different groups, it's because they're attracted to that soul tribe because of the collective. So if this is something that you've been looking into, I do have an early bird on at the moment. You can go onto victoriabond.co.nz and you can put in the code MM, so the capitals, MM20, and receive 20% off Magnificent Mediumship. You can actually use that on the self-study as well. And you can purchase that anytime. I love the live because, like I said, the different blueprints come in and we work together live for 10 weeks as well as the digital program. You get a human design reading as well, and we do dive into the basics of human design so you can understand that for yourself, your family, and your clients. And of course, there is a payment plan because I do like to offer this to everybody. So there's a 12-month payment plan. So if that is something you want to do, hey, let me know, or just simply go sign up. And I have really enjoyed talking to you today. And this has been 50 minutes. And lots of love to you. Have a beautiful day. Listening to today's episode. I trust that you got those golden nuggets that you required to shift your consciousness, to expand your awareness, and to turn up your capacity. I invite you to share this podcast with anyone that you feel would benefit from it. And also share the golden nuggets that you have learned with your friends, family, and of course, clients. You can contact me if there's anything that you want to specifically share with me, or if there's anything you want me to specifically share on the podcast. You can check out the show notes and find me on my socials, and myself or my team will get back to you. My heart to yours. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.